Hi guys, so I've got some finished cards to share with you. I'm gonna try and get through it quickly while I have power to my camera. So, when I was putting stuff away through the bags of stuff that I had scooped into a bag so I could film after Christmas, I had some unfinished cards, and so I got those done. This is the first one. Card bases from Bonnie. This embossed background. Is a Tim Holtz one that came from Bonnie. I think I put it too far down now. Wow, that was odd. Strips of paper. This was Noel that I had stamped that I just cut out. The circle mat behind the sticker came from a die that Bonnie gave me. And this is a glitter die cut to and from tag that came from the Dollar Tree. Nothing on the inside. Okay, this one I was feeling particularly lazy. So the card base was from Bonnie. I have my box. I paid a lot of money for this storage solution here. Yeah, it's worked out wonderful. It's just a box of cardstock scraps. I didn't feel like searching for any coordinating pattern paper, so I just took a bunch of pieces of cardstock in no particular size and didn't cut them down, and just embossed them with I think it's Darice snowflake embossing folder, and then glued them onto the card. And then I had this piece of ribbon from the last card, glued that on there. That was on my desk. This is a Kane Company dimensional sticker, and then I stamped piece, and this stamp came from Bonnie on a really old die cut that I had that I made into a flag, and I don't think the inside has anything either. Okay, so I was on the internet looking for a bra die because I wanted to do breast cancer awareness cards, and I swear there's been a bra die in the market before. So that's what I started out looking for on the internet, and then it kind of moved into a more it just moved into a different direction. So whilst I was looking for a bra die on the internet, no, which I didn't find, ended up never finding, I came across this boob and panty template. So that's the direction that it ended up going in. And here is the first card. Just type in boob, not boob, bra or panty template, and you should have a lot of results that pop up. So that's what I did. I hand cut everything. I just picked a skin tone of cardstock. Yeah, this Hello Gorgeous, that came from a stamp set that Bonnie gave me. And this was some scrap paper I had, and this was a great opportunity to use up some scrap lace, which was awesome. And then this bow came from some bow parts that Jonnie sent me, and I put the bows together. So I just did black embossing on that. And then the inside says happy birthday. It didn't stamp super well. I think that was a wood stamp from Walmart. So, and for the insides piece, because I used a dark cardstock, I just took the template for the boob card and then printed out another one and then cut it a little bit smaller. So with each boob with each boob set that you cut out, or bra set that you cut out, you'll end up with a pair of panties too. So here's the matching panty one. Yeah, scrap lace. This is a temporary tattoo that I got from Shay, and I just wet it down a little bit, put it on there. And then the stamp says, "Happiest birthday to the love of my life and the biggest pain in my ass." And that is a Gina Marie stamp set. So I made 2 sets of cards. These were fun to make, and it was great that I got to use up scrap lace and some things I don't normally get to use on cards, but at the same time, it was a little bit time consuming because I had to hand cut everything. Yeah. This is also a Gina Marie stamp. It says, "I like older men, happy birthday." And I used a seam binding lace for this bra. And I ended up having to glue it behind the paper. So it added some bulk. So it was definitely nicer using the already gathered lace as opposed to lace that you have to gather yourself. There's a lot less bulk. And then this little flower came from Lisa. This is a stamp from Bonnie. There's that one. And then here is the matching panty card. These 2 stamps came from Bonnie. It says "Bottoms up, birthday wishes," which also came from Bonnie. So, okay, so that's the boob and butt cards. I did like making those, but it was time consuming. Alright, so after I had made that purchase from Scrapbooking for Less, I was feeling a little bit guilty. God, I shouldn't be spending money. I just shouldn't. I am very fortunate to have the supplies that I have, and I have wonderful friends that have taken care of me completely and have provided everything I could ever want for, you know, the rest of my scrapbooking career. But I was feeling pretty guilty. So I decided to do some mass production cards, which I don't typically do because most of the time I'm using scraps and stuff. You know, I don't pull from a paper pad, you know, and everything coordinates and yada yada yada. I use scraps. So most of the time I don't do mass productions of cards. That and the fact that I get really bored super easily. But I decided to do a mass production of these of cards with this mug on it with the reindeer, which is a Gina Marie die. I really want to do a bunch of cards with this figgy pudding. God, it's so cute. So cute. Another day. Another day. So all the cards are the same size. I had a bunch of this Recollections black cardstock. It was a really odd size. It was like, I don't have a ruler next to me. Yes, I do. It's right here. The cardstock was like 9.5 centimeters by by like 22 centimeters. It came in a pack that size, and I got it back in the beginning of my paper crafting years. And I hardly reached for it, and so I decided to do a bunch of cards with that. With those strips of black cardstock. And so the cards are pretty small, and they're a really odd size, but that's okay. So there was no exact middle to that cardstock on the scoreboard. So, you know, one half was just a teensy bit longer than the other half when you scored it. So I took my Martha Stewart punch and did a doily bottom on all the cards. And to make it stand out, I used some gold sparkle washi on all of them, which is Tapeworks brand. And this isn't the stickiest washi, but I just stuck a little tiny bit of wet glue on each side so to, you know, keep it more secure. So here's the mugs. It's super cute. Oh my goodness. Super cute. I just used scraps of whatever pattern paper I had in my scrapbook that I thought would make a cute mug design. And, you know, scrap cardstock for the deers and the hot cocoa part. And then if anybody has this Gina Marie die, a 1/2 inch circle will fit just perfectly behind the deer head, and then you don't have to do any trimming. So if you wanted a black nose and black eyes like I wanted, then you can just punch out a 1/2 inch circle, which saved me a lot of time from having to glue on black cardstock and then trim around the deer head. I did all the same banner dies which came from Bonnie, and then I believe the Season's Greeting stamp also came from Bonnie. This embossed background came from Bonnie. This paper didn't particularly emboss well. It broke, you know, it cracked. I'm just going to pretend like I intentionally distressed it. So they're all pretty much the same. This is a houndstooth background, which came from Bonnie. And it's just really simple because I was mass producing them. This is a pine tree background. I got that in a D-stash. This one, I think I used too dark of a background for this mug. It doesn't really stand out. And the swirly one came from Bonnie. There's a snowflake one. I think the mug blends into the background a little bit too much, but oh well. The circle one came from Bonnie. There's another snowflake one. Again, the mug blended too much in the background, but I really try not to cut into any cardstock because I had this really expensive container of cardstock here. So it's all scraps. And then here's another snowflake. So those are all the cards that I have made that have just been sitting over here. I've kind of decided that all the cards I get, I'm going to start my own pile of cards that I need for the year, like so many Christmas cards, so many birthday cards, and I'm going to work on all those first, and then once I get those done, you know, then I'll have them ready for when I need them for people's birthdays or whatever, and then whatever cards I make after that, I can add to my stash of just cards to sell or whatever. Okay, there's a lot of talking. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.